Hello and welcome. You're watching Property Hotline with me, Kavita Krishnan. So if legal issues have left you stumped while buying, investing or selling property, you've tuned into the right channel. Ask us your questions and we'll get you answers from the biggest experts in the country. Our expert for the day is Atulay Nehra. Atulay is an advocate and a legal expert and he joins in from our Delhi studio. Atulay, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Let's get started, Atulay. We already have our first caller on the line. Richard Lobo has called in. Richard?
Yeah.
Richard,
good
welcome
evening,
to Property Hotline. Tell me what's your question.
Yeah, the first point is that, we have brought a 2 BHK in Goa. And it is showing that it is 94.87. But when we calculate everything, it is only giving us 77. And
This is the area you're talking about?
Hello?
I'm sorry, this is the area you're speaking about, right?
Yeah, 77 square meter we are getting. And the remaining is not there.
Okay.
So, and I went to calculate more or less of some more flats, and all of them are that way only. That means the builder is profiting around about 5 lakhs on each of the flats. And the complex is having about 46 flats.
Okay.
Now, the builder has charged us 60,000 one-time maintenance. And he's also staying. Now, he's occupying almost about 4 flats down on the ground floor. And the complex is saying that is only a 1, 2, and 3 BHK.
Okay.
Now, he is saying that now from March 16, he's going to charge us 1,500 per month as maintenance. Now, is this right? What are we supposed to do with this thing?
So essentially, Richard has been shortchanged over here. What would you say, Atulay?
See, there are two things to it. First, when we talk about the area which was promised has not been delivered. So, we are talking about deficiency of service area. We are talking about something which was promised and not being given. So, this definitely is a fit case for a consumer dispute. This is a consumer dispute. Secondly, when we talk about the 60,000 rupees which has been paid by Mr. Lobo as maintenance, one-time maintenance, this generally developers take this as interest-free maintenance deposit, and which is generally for 1 year. So, if the developer is further asking for 1,500 rupees a month, I think that is as per the law, and that would be mentioned in their agreement as well. So, that's not there. But yes, when we talk about the issues they have in the product that has been delivered, they can certainly file a consumer complaint.
Right.
And they can also ask for compensation in reference.
They can file a consumer complaint. Atulay, also tell us something over here. We have come across cases like this in the past, and what we have seen is typically the builders turn around and they do a measurement of the flat or the house concerned, and they say, and they actually prove that what they have promised is what they've given. Now they have their own ways of calculating the area, because they look at FSI, what is within FSI, what is free of FSI, etc. And the buyer obviously is someone who's a lay person who doesn't have this kind of technical knowledge. So in that case, how can the buyer, I mean over here, if Richard does go to court, he will have to build a watertight case. So what does he need to do? Are there any bodies, any regulatory bodies that whom you can call, who can probably come and measure your house for you?
See, when we talk about getting the house measured by any particular body, yes, you can get it done from any architect that is registered from the state, who can give you the exact specification of the house. Now, we need to look at two things. When you buy a house, there are two areas which are given by the developer. There is something called as super area, and then we have carpet area. So generally, when we talk about super area, you have the lift lobbies, the staircase, and all the balconies and all the other areas added, or you can say loaded to the flat area. So for example, if you are buying a 1,000 square feet apartment, you might end up getting just 700 square feet or 640 square feet of usable area, carpet area I would mean. So the rest is around 18 to 20%, and in some cases up to 30% is the loading which the developer charges, and that 30% is the area on which developer is making the actual money. So it varies from developer to developer. 15 to 30% is what developer puts as a loading. Now, if something was promised in the builder-buyer agreement, say for example, if the builder-buyer agreement specifically mentions that 94 square meters is promised as super area, and then we need to know what is mentioned in the builder-buyer agreement as the loading to it, or the developer need to mention this, what is the loading, and then accordingly he need to, because in this particular case what would happen, as soon as they approach the court or if they approach the developer would say, we charged you for 94%, 94 square meters, and the carpet area which we have given is 64 square meters.
Right, Atulay,
so that's
we have
what the
another caller on the
explanation
line. So let's just wind up this question. Richard, so essentially what you need to do is read that agreement thoroughly, take it to a lawyer and get it read once, so that you know whether you have all your facts in place. And also, like Atulay said, you could get a registered architect to actually come and measure your house, and then you can take legal action. Right? Let's move on. We have Ashok on the line with us. Ashok?
Hello, ma'am. I'm Ashok here. Good evening to you all.
Good evening, Ashok. Where are you calling from? What's your question?
I'm currently in Pune. She was in Chennai, actually. Actually, I bought an apartment 3 years back, in 2012, August, around that. I paid around 90% of amount to that apartment. Actually, they completed on, if we estimated that apartment, they completed only 60%. In the closing of 2013, they completely stopped the project.
Okay.
Actually, there was 40 flats in that project. One is mine. So they completely stopped the project in 2013 April itself. So I paid 90% of amount. Still, there is no action taken from that builder side. I asked them many times. Actually, what happened, right? They taken the money from our buyers, lots of buyers, and they invested into some other projects. They got some loss on that project.
Right.
So they stopped both projects.
So essentially, you're not getting a reply from the developer. You want to know what you can do. We were speaking with Ashok Kumar. Just to recap his question, Atulay, he has actually bought an under construction house 3 years ago in Chennai in 2012, and he's paid 90% of the cost of the house to the developer. However, the construction on the project stopped midway. The developers made about 60% of the project, and work has completely stopped on it after that. Now Ashok has approached the developer's office, but they have not been answering his calls. He, however, managed to meet the developer a week ago in Chennai, and he told him that he'll get possession in 2 to 3 months. Now this was promised in January 2013. So it's been hanging fire for quite some time. We are in 2016 now. What can Ashok do?
Just a quick thing to understand from Ashok, he said like the project started in 2012 and the possession was promised in 2013, or he booked in 2012.
Ashok, did you book in 2012 or did the project start in 2012? Ashok?
Started before 2012. I booked that. I made the first payment in 2012. July.
In that case, could you please confirm what is the date of possession that is mentioned in the builder-buyer agreement? As you say, like it's 2013. So the builder-buyer agreement says 2013?
Yes, actually it is another 12 months of first payment. They will hand over. Actually, agreement was they will hand over my flat in within 12 months from the first payment. So I made the first payment in June 2012.
See, as I understand, when we talk about the payment which you have made, you said you have already made 90% of the payment. However, the developer has only completed 60% of the project. Also, vis-a-vis when the possession was promised for 2013, this is a complete flaw of the contract which has been signed with you, a builder buyer agreement. So you can actually go for a consumer complaint. You can also file a criminal complaint against the developer, as this comes under cheating, where there is already a delay of 2 years, and you have already paid money for something which you are not getting at all. So you have two options here. You can seek compensation for every single day of delay. Second, you can file a criminal complaint. Third, you can file a consumer complaint.
Atulay, what would you advise? What should he go for ideally? You're giving him three options, but is the consumer complaint the faster route, the easier route to go?
First thing first, he should file a criminal complaint under IPC 406 and 420. Where the developer would definitely look into some kind of financial compensation for him, because generally the developers try to evade from any criminal proceeding against them. Consumer forum, yes, would be a longer process, but for immediate relief or settlement with the developer, he can file a criminal complaint.
Right. So file a criminal complaint first and then approach the consumer courts. Let's move on. We have Sunil who's called in now. Sunil?
Hi, I'm
Hi.
Sunil Backward from Bangalore.
Right. Tell me, Sunil, what's your question?
Yeah, question is this, ki I have booked a plot of 1,200 square feet in Bayappa approved Bangalore, North Bangalore. The thing is, ki the land developer had committed to develop it before registration of the land, and he has not in the stage to develop it, and he is not even disclosing the matter why it's not been done.
Okay.
And now he is not even giving us access to the landowner, or he is not even completing the things as committed by the developer. Now, what should be done? Should I go legally or should I wait for the thing? Or if I want to go to legal thing, then as per sale agreement, he has to pay me with nominal interest, but it will be a loss as per consumer of this thing. Can I get market value of the land?
Can he get market value of the land? He booked a plot of land and he was promised a home on that land, right? Sunil?
Plot. It's not a flat, it's a plot.
It's a plot, and you were promised the construction on the plot as well, or were you supposed to do that yourself?
It was developing. He's a developer, he's a land developer, and agricultural land would be converted and Bayappa approved land. And he will provide me the amenities like water tank, road construction, under sewerage construction, electric supply, park, that sort of things.
Right. So it essentially part develop the land and give it to you. He'll give you all the infrastructure. That was what was promised but has not been done. What can he do now?
See, first thing, what you need to do is, you need to file a RTI application to the development authority and check what is the status of the conversion of land. So what happens here is, you are actually preparing to get into a legal battle with the developer, because the developer has not yet given the possession, neither the developer has given the registered the plot in your favor. So basically you are on the lower side of this thing. You are on the loss side. So what you need to do is, you can definitely ask for compensation, but before that you need to have all the documents in place, as in where the developer is lacking. The first thing first is whether the developer has got the conversion of this property done or not. So you please check the status by filing a RTI to the authority, followed by a consumer complaint, and where you can seek compensation. Thirdly, again here also you can file a complaint for cheating by the developer, because the possession was promised much before and it has not been given till date.
Right. Atulay, he wanted to know if he can get market value of the land.
See, he is not the owner of the property as of now. The plot has not been registered in his favor. So when it has not been registered in his favor, how can he sell it?
Right. So you cannot get market value of the land, but this is what you can do, Sunil. You can file an RTI first and you can approach the consumer court and also file a criminal complaint. Let's move on. We have Hiren who's called in. Hiren?
Hi, yes, Hiren here.
Right, Hiren, tell us what's your question.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. And my question is related with the completion certificate. And I don't want to disclose the name of the builder, but he is a reputed builder in Mumbai, and he has a big commercial complex in Malad West in Mumbai. And it is very good locality, but now builder promised last year that completion certificate will be available within 6 months' time. But now it's more than a year. So I have two questions. First is what action we can take against such builders, and second is what happens to such properties if government decline completion.
So the government has declined completion. Have you checked on that?
No. If they declines in future.
Okay. And Hiren, any particular reason why you don't want to take the name of the developer?
I don't have any issues, but I don't want to.
Okay. No, I just wanted to ask because we've had cases where buyers have called us and told that they have signed a non-disclosure agreement with the developer, which is what I wanted to check with you.
There is
nothing like that, right?
No.
Okay. So Atulay, what can Hiren do over here?
See, Hiren, in this case, you need to send a legal notice to the developer, asking for giving him a 1 month time for getting the completion certificate. Followed by, if the developer does not respond, you can file a consumer complaint. As this comes under deficiency of service, how the developer is responsible for getting the, it's the developer's responsibility to get the completion certificate. In this case, as the developer is not getting it, it comes under deficiency of service. Similarly, if this deficiency of service is proved, the consumer board can give him a notice under section 14, and then accordingly the developer has to either give the compensation to you, or either whatever you pray in the application, and the developer, the forum can also instruct the developer to get the OC within a particular time frame given by the forum.
Right. So that's your answer there, Hiren. Let's move on. Ashok has written in on our website www.mbnow.in. Now Ashok says that he's planning to buy a ground floor flat in Mumbai in a cooperative housing society, and he wants to start his own clinic in the same premises. Now is it necessary that he take permission from the society for the same? Should the society have a problem with a clinic in its premises? Atulay?
See, when we talk about medical practitioners, they generally do not fall under the purview of Bombay Shops and Establishment Act. So, in accordance, because this is not a commercial activity, he can definitely open a clinic in the residential premises. But because the societies in Maharashtra, they are autonomous bodies, it is a possibility that the society we might have to take a NOC from the society before opening the clinic. There is alternative method, which is like he can go ahead, open up a clinic there, and then whenever he receives a notice from the society, he can accordingly fight a legal battle, which definitely he would win, because it does not comes under commercial work.
So you're telling him to take a chance and take them head on if needed.
If needed, he can do that.
Yeah, but technically it doesn't come under commercial establishments, so you can go ahead, just get an NOC and get that clinic up and running, right? That will have to be the last query on the show tonight. With that, we're completely out of time on this edition of Property Hotline. Atulay, thank you very much for joining us, and we hope to see more of you in this new year.
Thank you.
Also, to all our viewers, let me just remind you, those who tune in regularly would have heard BJP spokesperson Shaina NC say that if there are any suggestions that you have for the Maharashtra regulator, do send it in. She has promised that she will take suggestions from viewers of Magicbricks Now. She will take those suggestions and she'll give them to the government. So come together, send in your suggestions. We will ensure that those suggestions go to the government. We will send them to Shaina NC and she'll take them to the government. Let's get that regulator up and running. Tomorrow, we'll be back with a guest on Property Hotline who will answer all your tax-related queries. You know how to reach out to us. You can write into us on Facebook, on email. You can also send in video queries now on feedback@mbnow.in. Apart from that, you can also tweet to me or call in live like all the other callers that you saw on this show. Right? Thank you very much for joining us on Property Hotline. Keep watching Magicbricks Now.